and welcome to the Chrissy B Show, which is going to be all about looking after our hair. Now, our hair is one of the first things that people notice about us. Hair and appearance matters in people's lives, especially for women, as it enables us to create an identity. So what happens when we start to lose our hair, as I started to do one day? Now, I used to have thick, curly hair, and I would even have trouble taking care of it, and it would absolutely take ages for you just to dry it. So I was really upset when over a relatively short period, my own hair started thinning, and now I'm looking for all sorts of natural ways to thicken my hair, but to no avail. Now, this can be quite distressing to some people when this happens, especially when hair loss is quite substantial. So what can you do to minimize hair loss? What's the best way to look after your hair so it can be healthy and shiny? And how do you cope if you do lose it? To answer these questions and more, the guests joining me tonight are Warren Vahiswaran, who helps people through hair loss and also advises on how to regenerate hair growth. And we'll also be having hair care specialist Robert Ari to give us some great hair care tips. And as always on a Wednesday night, we have lifestyle development trainer Chris Brown, who'll be talking about the key to our success, and we'll be finding out more about that later. And last but not least, we'll be showcasing a good cause that you may be interested in supporting. But first, let's introduce our first guest, who is Warren. Hi, Warren. Thanks so much for joining us.
Chris, thanks for calling me down here.
So this is like a major issue for a lot of people. And men, you were even telling me men, like, because I kind of thought, oh, it's a woman thing, you know, if our hair thins or starts to fall out, we're the ones that really get upset about it. But apparently men do as well.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, men have a different way of grieving compared to women. Women, they can go and talk to other people, some people, and try to get help. Men with their egos would not like to go and share those experiences with somebody else. They grieve on their own, especially when the hair loss starts at the early 20s. You know, that's when we're all into our youth, and suddenly we think, oh God, we're aging. You know, but we're not meant to be aging. So they go into this massive grievance.
Although I think men look quite cool, like when they don't have much hair anyway. It's not like, I think for a woman it looks kind of different, but I suppose each case is individual and it depends on the person, doesn't it?
Well, absolutely. I mean, if they lose their hair or shave their hair overnight, they can cope. But when they're losing every day over 4 or 5 years, you know, I dealt with over 4,000 men and women.
What did you actually do? So I forgot to ask.
Yeah, well, I with my family and my personal experience and my friends, I wanted to know the truth. Because every case is different. Why do we lose hair? And is this true? Is this snake or does that work? Because the hair loss is a grey area. It's not black and white. So when you have a grey area, you've got charlatans in the industry.
There's loads, there's so many things out there.
Correct.
Generate miracle hair growth and all that stuff.
Absolutely. And you are dealing with vulnerable people. And when vulnerable people are suffering, they want to spend money.
You would do anything, really.
Absolutely. You know, you want therapy. And, you know, in the US, they will immediately go for help. They'll go and see a psychologist. We don't have that in this country. We don't have that, oh, I'm in trouble, I need to go and seek help. We try to deal with it our way. And that's how I got involved. And when we dealt with a lot of men and women, but we are becoming more and more specialized now in the men's side, because the women's side is growing so quickly. But we decided as Landmark to concentrate more on men, because with men it's quite straightforward. 95% of the men's hair loss is hereditary, so it's predetermined already. Right now we're going to have to deal with how to stop it getting worse, and how to prevent it.
No.
With women, there is several different complicated reasons behind it. And sometimes there's no black and white solution for it. We can minimize it, but if we catch it early, we can solve it.
The earlier the better. So
Absolutely.
As soon as someone starts noticing that their hair's thinning or falling out, they should seek help immediately, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, you did bring along some myths, which I'm looking at these and I'm like, oh my gosh, I thought most of these, I thought, oh my gosh, I'm guilty of these, because I thought, let me read some of them. You can tell us why, you know, these things are a myth. So wearing hats causes hair loss.
Not true. Not true. I mean, look at our fingers and hair. It just keeps growing. I mean, you know, they go to they spend a lot of money to do hair removal because they can't stop it growing. So the hair will grow and grow. And you can't forget that outside the hair is a dead cell. The roots are the live cells, so it's meant to keep growing. You can hide you can sit in dark light and whatever. Hair is going to keep growing unless it's got a problem not to grow.
Okay, so nothing to do with hats then.
No.
So now this one, another one I thought, shaving, trimming or cutting your hair can strengthen it.
False.
False, everybody.
It's false.
Okay, and then brushing your hair can make it stronger and more resistant to hair loss.
No, not true. False. These are all myths.
Now, why is that false, that one?
Basically, I've dealt with people who think having a shower, they lose hair. They only notice it in the shower that they're losing hair. So they don't take a shower. All right?
Yeah.
So you then go, oh, when did you last have a shower? Oh, about a month ago. So what have you done so far? Nothing. Because I lose hair.
That's terrible.
Oh, yeah.
So they're that worried about it that they're leaving
Education is really poor. You know, the important thing is to keep your scalp clean.
Right.
Right? And if you lose hair, it's not the issue. The issue is not growing hair. Right? You're meant to lose 100 hairs every day.
That sounds so many.
I know, but that's the average. And nobody believes that there's 100,000 hairs on your head as well. So when you're young and fully healthy, you have 100,000 hairs, right? You don't actually notice the hair loss until you lost half of it.
Wow.
50,000. And
so that's what happened to me then, because up until until I was about 27, my hair was very thick, and then all of a sudden it was like, and it went straight as well. So that's another thing I didn't understand. I had curly hair, really curly hair, and I would just wash it and leave it, and then just straight. Started getting like wavy and then like straighter and straighter. And I thought, oh, where's my hair gone? My lovely locks. But I couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
So let's read some other myths. Hairstyling products and dyes cause hair loss. Now, I thought this was really true, because I thought if you're putting so many things in your hair, then it will cause your hair to fall out.
True to a certain extent. You know, like I said, hair is a dead cell. So you can apply anything to it and the hair won't be affected. But if it gets to your scalp and starts blocking those cells from growing, that's when the problem starts.
Now, you were telling me something really interesting before about how to actually wash your hair, because there's a certain way that you're supposed to wash hair, because there's certain products that do damage the hair follicles. So you were saying to me that, can you tell the viewers, like, there's 2 different ways of washing your hair each time?
Especially if you're a female with long hair. The important thing is, you know, you just have a bath, you know, you don't wash your hair and your body at the same time. Especially if people with a problem. People who don't have a hair loss problem, they can do whatever they want and the hair will keep growing. Okay. But if they're
the fortunate ones,
the unfortunate ones, then you have to be very thorough in everything you do. You've got to take the small things, as every little helps. So basically, what you do is you go into the bath. You put you drop your hair down, and the shampoos that's meant to give you the silky look, you know, the Cheryl Cole look, and those shampoos have to make your dead cells look sexy, have chemicals in it. Right. And the main chemical that makes your hair look sexy is sodium sulfate.
Which is in most shampoos.
Absolutely. Right? It's international, you know, everybody knows it. Yeah. But that chemical makes your sex look sexy, but that's meant to be for your hair. Right? Not your scalp. Right. Right. So there are 2 different things. Well,
most people wouldn't know that, would they? Because you just get in the shower, just put the shampoo everywhere.
Absolutely.
And not just like, say, for example, the ends or whatever.
Well, doesn't make business sense to sell two shampoos. So you buy this and you buy that. Oh God. Yeah. You know, that makes
so it's okay to use it like on this part, but say, what would you then use on your scalp?
Well, you have to use something very mild, a sodium sulfate free shampoo.
Like a baby shampoo, say.
Like a baby shampoo, a D-free shampoo. There is a hair loss friendly shampoos that's in the supermarkets. It says, you know, it says D-free, it says hair loss friendly.
All right.
So you apply this shampoo to your own hair, and then make sure you have minimum contact. It's not going to hurt you if you have contact. You have minimum contact to your scalp, and the scalp, you should be using a scalp-free shampoo. Right. So you use this shampoo, and then for the scalp, you use that shampoo. Now you can use the scalp shampoo for your hair, it will be fine. It won't look sexy.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So it might be straight.
Really nice. You have to
it
make
won't
that
be
extra
glamorous. Yeah.
Make that extra effort.
And the conditioner. So you then wash your hair with the shower cap carefully downwards. Then you start applying your conditioner. Now, conditioner is for your hair, not for your scalp.
Oh gosh, I've been making so many mistakes.
Yeah, what is the point of the conditioner being applied?
It's true, because you're not going to soften your scalp, are you?
But nobody educates you. Everybody wants you to buy the products. Yeah. Nobody educates. And so you don't really understand it, the whole the
I shall be washing my hair differently from now on, people.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. It's a long term, because we are having more problems than our ancestors.
Yeah, okay. All right, let me just read a couple more. Hair loss is genetically determined by your mother's father.
Not true. It's certain. Mostly it comes from your dad, and it comes from your mother's side, uncles and your granddads. Okay. But like I said, 95% of men is predetermined. Women, it's growing a big problem, because the male testosterone that's causing hair loss in the men are now also affecting women in a kind of big
you were
kind
you
of
were telling me earlier, that was really interesting. I wish we had more time to speak about it, because we just need to show some pictures as well. But apparently women are getting more of the male hormones now, which is causing the hair loss and the hair to grow in places that we don't want it to grow as well.
Absolutely.
So like everything's changing.
Yeah,
so that was really interesting. Right, do you want to show us some of the pictures, Maureen, as well? Let's take a look at some of the before and after pictures. Can you talk us through these?
Yeah, I mean, this is a typical male pattern baldness that happens in the early 20s. So what happens is men, genetically, they lose their hair between 20 to 35, 36. That's when their hormones are at their highest level. That's when they should be having babies. And the side effects of their male hormones at their highest level causes DHT, which when they're young age sits under the top of their follicles, and when they're older it sits on their prostate. So there's been a link between late stages of prostate cancer and young age of male pattern baldness.
Right. And then how was that hair growth generated then after the picture?
That generation,
Let's take a look at the picture again.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, I was educated that fighting hair loss is like fighting war. To fight a war, you need your machine guns, you need your aircraft missiles, you need your submarines. To fight somebody like this at an aggressive young stage, for example, somebody like Wayne Rooney, you need to kind of have everything going. And hair growing is almost like a plant growing. So you need your sun.
Interesting.
Yeah. So this...
so what do you need then to...
If this person would have had to have some tablets that controls his hormone levels, the bloodstream, that will stop him from losing hair and grow the hair, some of the hair back. He also needs to increase the blood flow, and he needs to have all the healthy things going for him. Most probably, he has to start so quickly and start taking aggressive treatments.
So you were saying that sunlight is also needed for hair growth as well, and drinking water?
Everything that's good for your health, it comes out to be good. So if I can compare hair loss, the hair to a plant, it's very similar. A plant to grow, it needs sunlight, it needs water, it needs food. Hair is the same thing. It needs sunlight, water, and food.
What about what kind of food, though, would you say is good?
The fatty food and less nutrition causes the DHT to work more aggressively. So if you have your 5 fruits and vegetables, healthy lifestyle, it kind of harmonizes your hormones in not being very aggressive on the hair loss. It accelerates your hair loss. So the food, to have it is one thing. And then you need to have your blood flow. Right? So when you look at people having Indian head massages and standing upside down and snake
That's not a myth then?
Well, in a certain kind of way, you have to increase the blood flow to your hair. It's like the roots need to have water for the plant to grow. Hair needs to have blood supply. Blood supply is going to carry the nutritions to the hair. So what happens with that case study that I've showed you is he probably had all the nutrition, he probably is healthy. Look at people like Wayne Rooney, you can't get healthier than that, he still had a problem because it was a genetical hormone that was causing his hair loss. So what happens is, if you say your hair is nice and thick, strong, this hormone goes and sits around your hair shaft. That makes it smaller and smaller and smaller, because if a plant is not getting its food, it becomes thinner and thinner and finer. Right? So you suddenly have the same amount of hair is thinned, so you look like you've got less hair. Then the hair falls off because it seems like, oh, I don't know what to do next, and it falls off.
So that's really interesting.
Once the hair is falling off, the roots stay redundant there for about 6 months to 1 year. After that, if there's still the hormone problem isn't cured, the cell dies.
Right. Oh, unfortunately, Warren, I want to talk to you more, but we've run out of time. I told you the time would fly by. But if you do have any questions at all, you can email chris@chrissybshow.tv. I'll be sure to pass on the questions to our experts tonight. You can give us a call on 020 7686 6300. You can also follow us on Facebook, The Chrissy B Show, or on Twitter @ChrissyBShow. Thank you, Warren, so much for joining us.
Pleasure.
Maybe we'll have you back again one day just to tell us more, because it's really fascinating, some of the stuff that you were telling me before as well. Thank you so much. Now, after the break, we'll also be talking to hair integration expert Robert Ari. So he's going to be telling us all about how to look after our hair, how we can make it really thick in a way that you might not expect. And that'll be after the break. See you there. Welcome back to the Chrissy B Show, where we're speaking about hair care. Now, we're just about to speak to Robert Ari of Robert Ari's Hairdressing. But first, I'd like to give you the details. If you want to ask a question, you may as well take advantage of this opportunity to ask those questions that keep bugging you about the problems that you're having with your hair. So you can give us a call on 020 7686 6300, or you can email chris@chrissybshow.tv. So let's welcome Robert. Hi, Robert.
Hello, how are you, Chrissy?
I'm very well. How are you?
Yeah, good. I'd say your hair's lovely.
Oh, thank you. I was just flicking it before.
Flipping. I was going to do it, but we're on camera, so I couldn't touch it.
So tell us about your salon, what you do.
I've got a salon in North London, and been there about 20 years. Yeah. And our job is to make hair look beautiful. If it's thin, it's thick, to control hair, to teach people how to do the hair. We even, we're having blow dry lessons. We teach people how to do it how we do it. And that's brilliant. So they learn, to do their own hair. I think, you buy a phone, you want instructions. You buy a haircut, you should have instructions.
That's true, actually.
Yeah,
I've heard of that
and you walk out without them. You go back and complain about the phone, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. So what's the most common complaint that you get about hair?
I think most of it is a lot to do with thick hair or thin hair. A lot of ladies...
People complain that they have thick hair?
Yeah, if you came and worked with us for one day...
You complain about that? Oh, God.
It's amazing. People come in, they've got too much hair and they want thin hair, and people with thin hair want thick hair. It's very emotional, and our job is to make their hair look amazing, and you can do it if you structure the haircut properly and use the right products, and you basically take into account their lifestyle. And once you do that, it's brilliant. And I think a lot of people, the emotions are there and they want what other people have got, and that's half the problem, I think. But we've got to educate them and to think how to do it.
Now, a problem that I have is that obviously being on TV a lot, I tend to use hair straighteners almost on a daily basis, and I don't want to do that, but I feel like I have no choice because my hair has to look pretty good for TV. So is that really terrible? Is it like, or is there another way I could do it?
In a way, there's nothing wrong with hair straighteners. As long as you've washed it and dried it and you freshly iron it. If you iron it the day after, it's the kids that give it the bad name. They're ironing it before they go to school, and the mum's going, come on, come downstairs, and they're 200 degrees through the straightening irons. And that is a nightmare for the hair. It just burns it. Because when you've actually freshly washed it and hydrated the hair, the next thing you do is iron it. You're taking a tiny bit of the hydration out. And what you see is actually steam, not smoke.
Oh.
Right? But the next day, when you go over the hair, you're seeing smoke. And that's the problem. So
oh, gosh.
That's the danger.
Yeah.
So if you were the next day to actually take your hair, even wet it down a bit, dry it off a bit, and then iron it again, because you're not going to wash it every day. And, you shouldn't do. Twice a week, if it was technically about right. But as long as it's hydrated, and to our touch, our hair is dry. When you blow dry it, you feel dry, but it's not. The hydration is what makes it bouncy.
Right.
When you go over the hydration, it gets static, doesn't it? You think, what have I done to my hair? And it's not the conditioner, it's not the shampoo, it's over drying.
Now, we had a question from one of our viewers. Her name's Nadine. She's saying, my hair tends to get quite frizzy, which can be a problem at times, as sometimes I straighten it, but it doesn't have the sleek look, only a frizzy one. Is there a hair care product I can use or a regime to minimise the frizz?
I would say yes. There's, number one, you know, shampoo once, don't shampoo twice. Professional hair products don't need to be shampooed twice.
I never shampoo twice.
Yeah, so many people grab their hair to pieces. And then what they do is when it's frizzy, if it's curly hair, you should put a product on it. And something really, when you put a product on the hair, you're literally trying to make it a bit dirty again, really. That's what the product's doing.
I think we have, it's like this picture here.
Yeah, and it's sticking the hair together. All she needs to do, this lady, is literally, from wet, put the product on. Some type of...
What kind of product? Yeah.
Some type of paste, some type of mousse, some type of leave-in conditioner. There's some fantastic ones out there. And try and stick to professional products and, you know, get it from your hairdresser. That's the way to do it. And once you put it on, you need to, if it's a natural curl, you want to diffuse it naturally and make it look lovely. And that's how you do it. But
Is there a way that I can get curly hair back?
You can, it depends, you know, ladies do lose their waves, you know, a lot of the kids, they come in for the salon and, you know, by the time they're like 15, 16, I'm blow drying their hair straight and, you know, then
we're never satisfied, are we?
Anymore. It's bizarre, you know, so it does change from year to year and it doesn't always decrease, that curl, sometimes they get worse. And again, in the salon, people want curls, people don't want curls.
It's true. I suppose we want both. At the end of the day, want to look different.
And it's quite amazing how they, how people's hair, how they perceive other people's hair. Everyone loves everyone else's hair. You know, and really, you know, your own hair's beautiful. You know, that's the point. And you just got to learn how to make the most of it.
Yeah. Okay. Let's take a look at another picture, another common problem that people may have with their hair. Let's take a look at the next one. Today. There we go. All right.
Yes. Colour damage.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, colour damage again. It's a lot to do with how you're doing your hair. If it's applied properly and the hairdresser is professional, you should be able to get a good look out of it. It should be good. You shouldn't be overlapping when you're bleaching and when you're highlighting or when you're tinting. And I think the other thing is, you know, on dark hair, not light hair like that, avocados are brilliant. You know, actually, you know, 50p a pound. You know, not £30 for an amazing hair product from a shop. And you know, don't put it on blonde hair because it will go green.
Oh, gosh.
But dark hair, you put it on, you mash it up, put it on, leave it on for 20 minutes, wash it off. The oils are so brilliant for the hair because they're not hydrolyzed. They're actually natural, so they pop into the hair shaft and they puff it out, and it's very aesthetic. You know, it literally, it's like puffing up your clothes and puffing up your duvet. And it gives it a lovely...
I should start doing that.
And yeah, definitely. And just make sure you don't blob it over the floor. It's a bit of a horrible...
It's all right, my cat will eat it anyway.
But natural products like that are amazing.
Yeah, okay. And obviously this time of year, people going away on holiday or they're just staying out in the sun. Even over here, we had a beautiful day today. So what kind of damage does that do to the hair and how can you minimise that?
The sun is amazing. You know, it does some brilliant things to the hair. But at the same time, you know, if you don't look after it and you haven't got a UVC filter on it, you've got a problem. You've got to have something...
There's shampoo for that?
Yeah, you get shampoos and conditioners these days. If you get the right one, they've got UVA systems in them, and they reflect all the harmful rays, the UVCs and the UVBs. And I think again, you know, put a hat on it if you have to. Yeah. You know, a nice gentle hat. Keep away from it a little bit. If you've got hair that's very damaged, some hair is again very genetic. It looks more beautiful in the sun. It doesn't look bad. It starts to look more amazing.
My hair went orange once. I remember going on holiday. I don't know what happened, but it literally went like a kind of gingery orange colour, and that never happened to me before. Nor it will go a bit blonde, but not like...
It's the strongest bleach you got. You know, the natural sun. It's stronger than anything we've got. I mean, nature can be quite aggressive. You know, sometimes you need to make sure that you're using it correctly. The sun, that is. You know, we put SPF factors.
Stay out for hours.
Well, you know, we put, you know, stuff on ourselves. We put the old SPF factors, factor 50 on ourselves. We should put it on the hair. And that's what people forget. They've got their spritz for their bodies, and they've got no spritz for their hair. So we try and make sure our clients have like a sun protection factor for their hair, and they forget about that a lot of the time. Some people are quite trained with that, and some people just don't do it. You know?
Okay. And what would you say are the most important things that you should do for your hair?
I think you need to make sure it's properly washed, properly conditioned, and generally looked after, like you look after your car or your body. You know, it doesn't happen on its own. You've got to make sure you groom it properly. You've got to not wash it too much, and you've got to make sure you feed it.
Would you say like every other day to wash your hair?
I think once to twice a week maximum.
Really? I can't do that.
Yeah, I mean,
my hair will
as I
look
say,
really greasy if I left it like...
If you didn't, it would go out of that after about 6-7 weeks of that actual pattern happening. Your sebaceous glands would actually stop thinking, oh my God, she's washing my hair. Let's put some more oil in there. So all it's doing is it's a circle, and you're constantly working that Groundhog Day. So the sebum glands are moving forward and making more oil. You're shampooing them off, they're making more.
So maybe if I have a break from TV for 6 weeks, then I can maybe do it then. Because I don't think I could do it now.
Yeah, totally. I mean, you've got to just like not go. You go on holiday for 6 weeks after the show.
Yeah, I can do that. All right. So what else you're saying about feeding your hair?
You've got to feed it. I mean, we've got ladies with very fine hair, and we do hair integration in the salon. And what we do now is we have these integration systems that they sit on the hair themselves. They come off every 4 weeks, and we feed the hair and we feed the scalp while we're attaching the actual integration system. There's a few systems out there that don't really, they stay on for 4 or 5 months at a time, and they're pulled and they're tightened, and they give you a contact alopecia. So our system seems to, comes off, we feed the hair, and you can see the hair growing underneath, and it's not too tight, and there's no glue. So it's very natural, very organic, and it's totally invisible for the ladies. And we get a lot of ladies with very fine hair, or totally upset about their hair.
Of course, yeah.
We've done that for a long time.
Traumatising sometimes.
Totally. And, it's got to be very gentle, and even in the salon now, I think we're going to have a private room, so it's not so traumatising. And you get a lot of people talking about it, and they don't understand what they're doing. They go to every single system. They try the really
makes it worse
systems.
sometimes.
It does, and I think what it is, what I'm mixing is the hair integration with beautiful hair. So you don't just get hair to look like a wig. You get a beautiful integration that actually we never know what the difference is. And you've got to feed that as well. You've got to make sure you look after your hair. You've got to make sure you look after the scalp.
Okay. And also, Robert, we've got a question here from Francesca, and she's saying, do you have any tips specifically for Afro-Caribbean hair as well?
Afro-Caribbean hair, it depends what's wrong. I mean, most of the time, I get a lot of ladies coming in and they've got lots of weave-ons on their hair, and they're plaited for ages on end. If you're gonna plait your hair and cornrow it and put a weave-on, it's not normal to keep them on for too long. You've got to go about 2 or 3 months.
For them, is it?
Take it out, give it relaxing. Put some cornrows back in, but don't put the hair back on, because your hair can't breathe. And then you get a lot of ladies, the Afro-Caribbean hair, it breaks around the front because it's been straightened too much, and it's like a bit of a normal thing, I think. If you broke hair on my hair, you'd be suing them as hairdressers. But the Afro-Caribbean hair, they break it, it's fine. It's quite normal to break your hair, And it's much softer than our hair in that type of sense. It's not as aggressively, it's got a lovely curl, and it takes colour quick as well. But you've got to make sure you oil it, you've got to make sure it's got a coating on it.
What about natural care for it as well?
Natural care, I mean, you've got to make sure you dry it properly. You've got to make sure that you look after it, and again, it's got to grow in such a way. If it's very frizzy, maybe your curls are too short. You've got to grow them out, because you're looking at the ends of a brush, normal of the time when you do that. If you grow them out, gravity takes over, and the curls start to curl. And don't fight the curls. They're beautiful curls, no matter what you have in hair. The danger with hairdressers, we can make anything look lovely. Yeah. That's the thing, any type of hair. And I think the client's got to realise that they've got to be educated. The hairdresser should be doing a blow-dry lesson, a free lesson, a week later. So we give our clients homework sometimes.
Oh, that sounds great.
Yeah, we do.
Because I always love going to the hairdresser, and I come out and I feel, my hair looks great, and then when I next wash it, I can't ever seem to get the same effect.
So we get our ladies to come in with their hair dryers and their brushes and everything, and we have a look at what they've got. Sometimes they've got loads of hair like this, and they've literally got. They said, I can't work it properly. The hair's not working. It's not drying properly. Yeah. They've got a tiny little hair dryer, like a travel hair dryer. It's like cleaning your house with a toothbrush. You've got to get a bigger brush. And sometimes say, we need to buy one of these, you need to do this. And we don't sell those things in the salon, so it's very honest in the way that, we want them to go and get the correct tools. We couldn't use the wrong tools. Yeah. We have to have the right tools for the job.
Okay. And how about sort of getting your hair to look shiny naturally without putting any harsh products there?
Shiny naturally, hand cream.
Really?
Yeah, amazing. Very, very slight.
Or while your hair's dry or wet?
Any conditioner, right? I mean, all the leave-on conditioners, technically, it says don't rinse off, but you don't need to rinse any of them off. But you just have a little fine film, some natural oils. There's a lot of oils down the market now that you can put on that are designed to rinse off, and you can leave them.
Doesn't that flatten the hair though? Doesn't it make it heavy?
Makes it fluffy and bouncy. But you've got, again, it's how you put it on. I remember when I was about 12 years old, I looked at this mousse can, You know, just as mousse, and we're talking 25 years ago, and we looked at the mousse going, what do you do? And it said on the back, put it on your hair, and your hair looked lovely. So I sprayed it on my head. But it's not working.
Oh, no.
I didn't realise what you meant to do with it, and that was mousse, 20 years ago.
Yeah,
so it's all about the instructions, and I don't think some of the instructions give the right understanding of what to do with it. You've got to go to your hairdresser and demand to have a blow dry lesson. Have it. It's free. That's the point.
That sounds good. And people that aren't sort of sure what kind of haircut would suit them, what would you advise?
I think there's always something that can suit. I mean, if you've got high cheekbones, if you've got heart-shaped face.
What would suit me? Sorry, I'm taking advantage. No one's asking.
You've got lovely features. You could have anything.
Really?
You could. Yeah.
You're not just saying that because you're on TV on my show, right?
I'll prove it. I'll have to do your hair. I'll get my kit out and start doing it. But no, you could. Yeah. I mean, the thing is that it's in someone's mind. I think and they don't think they can have something. If you've got a big jawline, you may want to have your hair a bit lower. If you've got eyes, because sometimes the problem is, I think, is that the sockets are quite deep or they're quite shallow, and the client just says, I can't have a fringe, I can't have this because of my forehead is massive. And you look at every magazine, of every single hot magazine, all the proper glosses, all the models have wide foreheads. None of them have small foreheads. So you should embrace
your wide forehead.
Totally. And some kids come in and adults saying, I don't like my forehead. You've got a lovely forehead, it's brilliant. And that's part of the thing. You need to see a face. Sometimes you pull hair away, it looks lovely. And it's psychosomatic. Clients don't really think that they've got the right type of face shape for something. And sometimes you have to talk and talk and talk. 15, 20 minutes of talking. And sometimes
you do counselling in your salon.
You're a hairdresser, you're a psychologist, you're a doctor, you're everything. Sometimes, the hairdressing is not the problem.
Yeah.
It's everything, you've got to go with it. Understanding what to do.
Okay. And what about colour, the kind of colours that people should put maybe according to their eye colour or something? Is there any rules for that?
I think colour is more to do with what's happening at the time, what's on trend. You can, fashion colour shouldn't really suit you, it should look fashionable. So,
don't some colours make you look older, maybe?
If you've got quite a sallow skin, you put red on, you can make it you can look a bit yellow,
Yeah.
But you can still go for a russet brown, a reddy brown. You don't need to go for the very heavy bright ones, what Rihanna did last year. You don't have to do that. And the maintenance is ridiculous. I mean, it's every 2 weeks. I mean, even some of our staff had the reds and they give up because they're every 2 weeks they're re-redding it. You can't carry on. But skin tones have got something to do with it. But at the same time, you can. The problem is, you change your hair, you've got to change your wardrobe.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it?
That's half the problem.
Okay. And what can you do for very fine hair?
Very fine hair.
Which is one of my problems.
I think the problem is with fine hair, you need time. You need to be. You've got lovely hair. You've got fine hair, but lots of it. And I think a lot of people think you've got a lot of, it's not patchy, it's lovely hair. Okay. And I think what happens is, even when we do a hair show or we do anything like this, we use fine hair. We don't use thick hair on stage because it can make the hairdresser look awkward. It takes too long to dry, right? It takes a long time. So the thing is, thick hair can look beautiful, fine hair can look beautiful as well. Okay. It doesn't matter. You've got to be taught how to do it.
Okay, so what kind of care then is it the same thick?
The regime for fine hair is use a very gentle shampoo, not a baby shampoo. You need to use a very gentle, probably a calming, sensitising shampoo for the scalp, and run it through the ends. If you put a lot of the other shampoos through the ends, what you find is the sodium lauryl sulfate makes it very flat. Even though you might get a shiny look, and everyone's wearing their hair flat, it's just. You need a bit of Hollywood hair sometimes, don't you? A bit bigger.
Yeah.
And you need to basically move forward from that and actually stop using too much conditioner. Tiny bit of conditioner, really tiny amount. Mid-lengths and ends only. Yeah. You'll just kill it. As soon as you start putting too much conditioner on it, flattens.
Yeah, okay. I'm guilty of that. I do it just to get the knots out sometimes.
Yeah, but sometimes, brush from the ends upwards. When you brush from the ends upwards, the knots come out. You don't need conditioner for that. Oh. But, too much conditioner will definitely flatten your hair.
Okay. Oh, thank you. That is my top tip that I've received from you, Robert. Plus all the other. Thank you so much. Some really great tips from you. And if you do want more information, you can visit this website. All the details will be there, chrissybshow.tv. So unfortunately, we have to say goodbye for this time. But I'd love to have you on again to talk more about hair. Yeah. Thank you. And then after the break, we're going to speak to lifestyle development trainer Chris Brown, who'll be talking about something that's key to your success. So join us after this break. Welcome back to the Chrissy B Show. And before we continue with Chris Brown, we're going to go to our good cause of the week, which was Battersea Dogs and Cats Home. So let's take a look at this. I'm here with Claire from Battersea Dogs and Cats Home, and she's going to tell us a bit about what they do here. Hi Claire, thanks so much for letting us come here today. So tell me, what do you do here?
Well, Battersea Dogs and Cats Home has been around for about 152 years now, and we've been helping to reunite lost dogs and cats with their owners, and if we're unable to do that, then we'll care for them until we can find them a new home. And on site, between here and our other two sites in Old Windsor and Brands Hatch, we have about 150 cats and about 450 dogs, so big operation. I mean, if they fall into the wrong hands, then any dog can be trained up in poor behaviours, which we don't want. For staffies, we have so many of them here. They're our main breed, but they just make the most fantastic pets. So we just want to encourage people to consider them as a family pet.
So cute! You're just too cute for your own good. Yeah!
We have a really good kennel enrichment program here at the home where the dogs have a variety of different senses that they can experience. So we're helping to turn a really sort of static environment into a nice dynamic one by providing new smells, different sounds, just a sort of
stimulation
of their psychological health as well as their physical health as well. Something we use in our kennel enrichment program is the use of peanut butter and Marmite. The dogs really love it. It's a very strong smell, and it can keep them occupied for quite a while. So anything that we can do to make the animals' lives better is fantastic. So if anybody out there is looking to donate something, these are the things we need.
Okay, you actually put them in cones for the dogs for them to...
Yeah, we have these very durable toys called Kongs, and we can stick them inside that, maybe a teaspoon or something lined on the inside, and it just can keep them going for quite a while.
It's great what you're doing here, and if you guys do want to help, please do get in touch. The website's on your screen now. There's lots of different ways that you can help, so please do get in touch and help these lovely dogs and cats out. There's me just trying to persuade Chrissy to take one of these lovely dogs home. But before we say hello to Chris, we did have a couple of questions from our viewers about the hair care. This one's from Johnny Patterson, who's asking if Robert can recommend any hair wig brands for a friend of his. And also Helen, who's asking that is there really a difference between salon products to the ones in the supermarket, and what helps the hair grow faster? So we're going to be posting the answers to those questions from Warren and Robert on our Facebook page, which is The Chrissy B Show. So, Chris, talking about hair, where's yours? Now, I'm allowed to say this. Don't think, oh, my God, how dare she say that to him, because he voluntarily shaves his head, so he's actually got a lot of hair, haven't you, Chris? So I'm not insulting you here. But why did you choose to shave it off when there's so many people that want hair?
It's funny, we were talking about it earlier on, and I said that, who was it? It was Warren was talking about hair loss and people losing hair, and then I said about, well, I shave mine every day. And I actually enjoy it. I enjoy it. I had so much hair. And just one day I thought, that's it, I'm going to shave it off.
Was it hard to manage?
Nah. No? I just got into it, and I shaved it once, and I used to wear a hat, and then I took it off.
Why don't you let it grow until next week and see, so we can see what you look like?
I'll tell you what, I'll show you a photograph next week, all right? I'll show you a photograph instead.
Actually, if you guys want to see a photo of Chris with hair, let me know, and I shall post it on the Facebook page if someone asks, OK? So,
Great.
All right, so you're here now to tell us about...
One of the keys, a little secret we was talking about. Right, key to success, right? And one of the key secrets is communication. Communication is the key to your success, and that doesn't matter what you're doing, whatever field you're in. Talking about going to interviews, wow, that's a big one. Communication. You've got to be able to sell yourself. You've got to be able to talk. You've got to be able to express yourself. You've got to be able to tell people what you really want. And sometimes we lack in that area in communication, because there's many ways. I mean, you talk to a salesperson, they know how to get you to buy what they've got, their product. Now, you talk to somebody going into an interview, you've got to know how to sell you to get into that job. So,
people are so shy, aren't they?
it is that. There is that.
Do you think it's anything to do with like all the social networking that we have nowadays? Because people would rather communicate by email, by Facebook, Twitter.
It's terrible. It's terrible because that's one of the main things. Someone sits behind a computer all day, typing away, no interaction. It's going to starve you. Sooner or later, you lose those skills, those soft skills. And it's funny because communication in itself, there are many areas in communication, many methods. When you're talking about letters, we're talking about writing, we're talking about books, we're talking about text messaging all day. I don't know, do you think about how many text messages you sent throughout the day today?
No, but it's been quite a few.
Yeah? It's a time saver, isn't it?
Yes.
If you had to see each person that you text, it would use up a lot of time, but your life would be a bit happier, a bit more enriching instead at the end of the day. So text messaging, good thing. I do it all the time, but at the end of the day, we've got to be aware of what we're losing while we're gaining at the same time. Now, another area, we're talking about communication, we're talking about writing visually. We're talking about visually as well, TV, videos, all these other areas as well. Sometime TV, I call it a drain brain machine because you can get so sucked in and your whole day goes, where's communication gone, right? So let's get back to on track about why we actually, the areas we should use in communication. Okay. There are 4 key areas in communication. 4 key areas, and I'm going to go through them each one. I'll tell you what they are first of all. This is the area that makes all the difference. Ready for it?
Yep.
I'm always holding the secret back. I'm always holding the secret back. Here we go.
Well, you're not going to keep it in. I know you're going to tell us.
All right, and here we go. Here we go. That's why I'm here. All right. First one, eye contact. Second one, tone of voice. Third one, body language. Fourth one, listening skills. Being able to listen. Now, if we went through it, just think about eye contact. Let's go through each one. Eye contact is very, very important, especially in an interview situation. They say that, and I mentioned this before when we spoke before, you walk into the door on an interview, the first few seconds that you walk through the door, they've actually made their mind up about you.
Really? Gosh.
Yes, really. Not that they know and say, oh, that's the one, or no, that's not the one. It's in the back of the mind. You meet someone straight away, you've scanned them up head to toe, and you've made an opinion. But what's wrong is if you stick with that opinion instead of giving that time to that person to find out. So eye contact in a situation is very, very important, especially if you're the speaker, because when we're communicating, there are 2 roles. There's a speaker and there's a listener, and we play those roles. When we're not communicating well, we play both roles at the same time, and that's where you get explosion, arguments, confusion, right? So you've got to realise what role you're playing, speaker or listener, at which time as well. Listener is very important. A lot of people think it's only the speaker. Listeners are very important, key to actually back that ball, the information you receive, how you receive it, and give it back, right? So, but back to what I was saying, eye contact, very important, especially if you're the speaker as well. Well, I'm not saying that you're going to stay there, you're going to an interview, and I say to someone, make eye contact to an interview and sit there all the way through like this, right? They're going to dial 999 and take you away, right? So it's only natural when you're thinking to look away, think about what you're saying, what you're going to answer, but focus back on the individual. So eye contact is very important. Here's the other one. Second one, tone of voice. Your tone of voice says a lot about you. In what you're conveying, the message that you're actually putting across. If you're the speaker, you've got to be aware of the impact that you're having on that individual. You've got to be aware of the tone that you're using, the inflections, how you come across to that individual. It could say a lot into the receiver at that time. So your tone of voice is very important. And where you emphasise certain words, like I said just now, where you emphasise certain words, that goes home to an individual. Right, so...
Well, what about the tone, though? How do you know what the right tone is? Like, can you explain a bit more about that?
Well, sometimes you could get somebody who's speaking very monotone all the way through, and it's just like that, and he talk to you like this all the way through, and you're listening to them, but you're trying to listen, but after a while you just go into a haze. You go into a haze, and you wonder, yes, OK, well, what was you saying? What was he saying? No, but the inflection, making the voice more colourful, more interesting, emphasise what you're talking about, put some emotion into it. It'll make all the difference.
Okay, so but then on the other hand, you don't want to be too overexcited.
You don't want to be too overexcited, no. Could you imagine working in a funeral parlour and being excited about everything? No.
So it depends where you work as well.
Exactly, on the situation, where you are, and lend yourself to that time. Yeah? Okay. So, next one, body language. Third one, that is, the body language. Body language is really, really important. because you could say one thing, but your body conveys what's going on inside, which will project something else. We've got open body language and we've got very closed body language. And the folding arms areas is a no-no.
So that's something that I do often, not because I'm being defensive, but it's just because it's just comfortable sometimes when I'm just standing there. But then I'm aware that, oh gosh, I'm probably looking very defensive or like I'm trying to protect myself. So then I move, I change my posture, whatever. But I just find it more comfortable sometimes to stand there like that.
Well, it's funny because you just said the actual word, I feel more comfortable. And usually when I'm teaching about interviews and say somebody, the no-no is to fold your arms. But there's nothing wrong with folding your arms. It's when you feel like hugging yourself and feel a bit more comfortable. But could you imagine going to an interview and say, I just want to hug myself before I start the interview, right? It's not going to work, right? Yeah. But it is a comfort thing at the same time. But you've got to think, if we're talking about the speaker and the listener, right, the giver and the receiver, if you're like this, you're actually protecting yourself. So you're blocking everything from coming in. Right. Now, being a bit more open, you're actually being open to what's there and that person, that individual. Not only are you blocking what's coming in, you're blocking what's going out as well, how someone actually receives you. So if I'm talking to somebody like this all the way through, there's something going on there, right?
Okay, what's the perfect way then, or the best way to sit at an interview?
You know, there's no fixed way. It's just being yourself and being relaxed. Right, and as I said, what's going on internally will come out on the outside. So one, to relax yourself there, be yourself as well. Try not to use your hands too much. I know I'm doing it quite well. Did you see me? Look.
Yeah, I tried to, yeah.
Right, yeah. Like but, just be yourself. There's no fixed way. Say, I will sit like this, I will sit like that at the end of the day. And it is actually different from females to males as well, in how we project ourselves. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So what's the final point?
Final point, listening skills. Listening skills are very important as well.
Are men better listeners than women? Did I put you on the spot?
Did you see my eyes? Did you see my eyes? I just got the end of it. Sorry, can you repeat that again?
Are men better listeners?
Are men better listeners?
Or do they just pretend to listen?
It's a good technique we devise.
Yeah.
Like you just
maybe that's a topic for another show. Don't worry.
Exactly.
Just stick to your point. Don't worry.
I mean, better listeners than women. I'm going to come back to that, actually.
We can do another show on that.
Right, OK. But listening skills are really important. And sometimes you can tell if somebody's listening or they've actually just gone off in another place. And you've got to be able to do just what you did. You went, It's sort of paralinguistic, where you're actually saying, yes, I'm listening. Yes, I'm listening. And you're nodding. You're doing it now. Exactly that. So listening skills are very important. But if you notice yourself that you've gone off somewhere, you've got to be strong, be focused, and listen to what an individual's saying. Yeah, because you've got to reply to them after.
Yeah, it's only polite to listen.
It's only polite. It's only polite, yeah. So these are the 4 key main areas of communication which focus on, especially if doing an interview or something like that.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much, Chris.
And
you'll be back again next Wednesday.
I am back next Wednesday.
Okay, so I'll let you guys know what Chris is going to speak about. With him. Like I said, if you want to see a photograph of Chris with lots of hair, do email me, chris@chrissybshow.tv, and I promise I will put it up on our Facebook page.
What have I committed myself to?
It's too late now, Chris. Okay, so let's tell you about Friday's show. It's going to be really exciting because it's the start of the Olympics, as you all know, and we're going to dedicate a whole show to it with guests, including sport performance coach Ali Campbell, who'll be sharing 10 tips on how to improve your sporting performance and prepare for competitions. But you say, look, I'm not an athlete, I don't need these kind of tips. Well, actually, you can apply them in daily life, so it's going to be really, really interesting. We're also going to feature a young man called Alex Bonnick, who is preparing for 2016 Olympics, and you definitely won't want to miss this show. If you want to get in contact with me at any time, don't forget you can email me on chris@chrissybshow.tv, and we're going to leave you with the cute YouTube video for today. And we'll see you again on Friday. Bye-bye for now.